Hello beautiful souls, this is Vanita Kumar, also known as Twinflameunion, bringing you guys in this week's pep talk and empowerment. What are the difference between twin flames, soulmates, and karmic? These are all connections at some point of your soul journey that you will embark in or have encountered in. And a lot of people in the spiritual community, they actually wonder what the differences are between all these connections. So in this video, we're gonna dive deep into it. In fact, it was one of the articles that I wrote in the beginning of my writing days. That was about 4 years ago. So you can take a look at that article, and I actually brought that article back here today to just reference it for this particular topic that I'm going to talk about. It is one of those topics that everybody wonders about, and I know that there's lots of information on YouTube regarding this, but I will try my best to explain it to you guys in the simplest way that I know versus the esoteric way that a lot of times you may encounter some videos to be. Everybody's different on their soul journey, and I try to leave the esoteric version of it and try to simplify it for some of the viewers like you who want to just know it in the simplest way. So we're gonna dive deep into this topic, but before we actually begin, let's hit it. And welcome back. For those that are new to this channel, please do not forget to hit like, share, and subscribe, as well as hit the notification bell so that you do not miss any future videos. When you hit the like button, it actually helps my videos to circulate around, and I actually sincerely appreciate it. It supports my channel, and it also, not to mention, helps people that are in dire need of guidance, and you know, that's the whole point of my mission work. I also want to say that if you want to book any private sessions with me, you can do so as well. Link is in the description box. You can purchase and book directly from my website, and I want to add that 10% of Twinflameunion sales also go to charity. So here it is. We have a topic that almost everybody wonders, and they've heard about it in the spiritual community. If you are drawn to my video, it's because either you're in a twin flame journey, or you're dealing with somebody that is a soulmate, and you want to know the difference between all these connections that almost all of us encounter. Some of them are romantic, some of them are just relationship in general. Could be your friends, it could be your family, it could be even your colleagues. So we're gonna dive deep into this topic, and I want to add that this was one of the earlier on articles that I have written many years ago. I think about 4 years ago, or almost 4 years ago, and it's in one of my it is in my blog section in the, I believe, the first page, if not the second. So it is very early on that I wrote it. And the thing with what I usually do and some of you actually give me that feedback, is that my work actually helps many people if you are looking for simplicity of understanding the journey, because there's so many people out there that will actually teach it the esoteric version, and I try not to gear too much on that, just because everybody's different on their soul journey, and I find that people get confused. The journey is already confused as it is, so it's easy for teachers like me to just kind of go on and teach it the simplest way versus the esoteric way. And of course there are some videos that you will come across that will be very esoteric. So here we go. We're gonna go into the topic, which is the difference between soulmate, twin flame, and karmic connections. These are all connections. We can rule that part out if you wondered about that part. And I also want to say first and foremost that these are also different type of soul contracts that you actually signed before you incarnated on earth. There were certain soul experiences and lessons that you wanted to learn, and these people, what they did is they actually volunteered to come and assist you in that process while they actually learn the same lessons as well, or gain the same lessons and experiences, whichever way you want to look at it. In fact, even our pets, now that I have advanced into this stage of my life and the journey, I understand it as well, that even your beloved pets also sign up soul contracts to come and help you get some sort of lessons and that sort of thing. Everything is spiritual on a soul level. We all are equal. That's what I'm understanding out of it, even if they are your pets. So in that case, when I remember when my cat passed away last year, when I had done a medium reading, I got to understand that she was part of my soul tribe, my soul group, and she actually incarnated to live that kind of experience with me, and we learned so much from each other on a soul level. So so this is another level that of course is not mentioned in my article, but I wanted to just kind of put that out for some of you that have that kind of bond with your pet. You know what I mean. This will totally resonate to all the pet lovers that are watching this video. So so yeah, one thing I want to just say is, just straight out of my article here, the monad, I call it the monad because it's the easiest way to just explain it. It consists of a male and female aspect of a soul origin. And what ended up happening is many lifetimes ago, the two began to split, and it are incarnated into lower vibrational densities, and from there a DNA of twin soul is incarnated. Just to let you know, this is straight from my article, so you can actually, I'll link it in the description so that you guys can actually read that article. And in today's time, we know it as twin flames. So basically, you have this soul monad that was a big gigantic, you could say soul origin, and then from there a lot of other souls started to split off from there. And this is how even soulmates, you've come across your soulmates that way too, because they are from the same monad or soul group. And that's why you you learn some valuable lessons from there as well. So that is the origin of the soul. So we're gonna dive into the twin flame aspect of it. What are twin flames, or what are the twin flame connections? It's part of the same soul, which split into two original you could say souls from the source of that monad. And through that, what they did is, there is a misconception that they are one soul split from they are one soul that is split into two different, souls basically. But it's not meant to be that, or it is the false misconception that those two souls are incomplete without each other, because they actually completed themselves. They lived many lifetimes individually, and sometimes they'll live together. So this is why when you actually do past life work, you actually know that there's so many incarnations that you have taken singularly as well as together. I just wanted to point that out, because a lot of times people think that they're incomplete without their twin flame, which is not true. You can be complete within you, because they are them and you are you. So it's just that it's easier to explain for some of the spiritual teachers that they are, basically based off the same soul. And this is why a lot of times you will notice that when you're dealing with your twin flame, of course, they look a lot like you, because of, being the same soul, right? So sometimes you could actually almost be mistaken for being siblings. So let me know if that resonates. So that's the basis of twin flames. And of course, souls are androgynous, so they don't have they have male and female energy, but they don't have the gender in there. So this is why a lot of times some twin flames are the same gender. So, and this is on a soul level, there is no such thing as male and female. It is just feminine and masculine energy, basically. You will have your own twin flame awakening at some point of your lifetime if you are dealing with a twin flame, or you are in a twin flame journey. And it's usually orchestrated by your higher self, and there is a script on that as well, the time and the place, and how usually that happens when you actually meet your twin flame, or you start to encounter them in your energetic field. A lot of times when people encounter them in their energetic field, they feel that this particular person is their twin flame, and they can get mistaken by it. It's and that's known as the catalyst twin flame, or the false twin flame. But in reality, they are already getting the awakening process, because energetically they're already there. So of course, it doesn't happen to everybody. It's only a certain handful people that actually encounter that. So it's part of that. And basically, once you get your awakening, your ascension process actually starts, and it keeps going in different levels. It's not like you have done your awakening and you've got your ascension, or you are getting ready for ascension, and it just stops. It actually keeps upgrading, if that makes sense. And this is one of the connections that actually is the fastest way to receive your ascension, just because of the connection being so intense and so dramatic in every sense of ways. Basically, for twin flames, the first chakra that gets activated is the heart chakra, but it actually surges through all the chakra system, and you get your awakening, and it just keeps going in vortex, different levels, right? This is the only connection that will be that intensifying. I can't even talk today. So just be aware of that, is because it's and it's the fastest. If you are in a twin flame connection, and if you are in a twin flame journey, just know that it's the fastest way to receive your ascension process, just because twin flames, they have the same vibrational blueprint of a soul origin, right? So they are identical in that way. So what that means is that you will receive a lot of you will also have a lot of similarities, as well as you will receive many trigger points. Some of them are past life stuff that will come for you guys to heal. It is very trauma based, meaning that your past relationships, things that you dealt with your love interest or your family, some of the wounding from your childhood, all of that stuff will surface up in order for both twin flames to heal. And it's one of those things that in this connection you will feel it the most, and this is why a lot of times it's so frustrating for a lot of twin flames, because you are going through so much and it's never the end of it. It just continues to give you lessons and experiences, and sometimes you're not even ready for it, but it's there. So, and this is why your soul doesn't let you know that you're on a twin flame journey prematurely, because it's just so intense with all these ascension that you're going through, the healing process, you know, facing your trauma wounds, that kind of thing, that they don't want to you know, give you something that you're not ready for. So this is why majority of the twin flames experience this kind of awakening process a little bit later into their lifetime versus in their childhood or in their teenage years or even in the early 20s. Some of them are, you know, in the early 20s, but I don't come across many that do, just because in my line of work I just see that it's usually the later years, because you know, you need to be able to comprehend what's happening to you spiritually and analytically. So I hope this makes sense to some of you, and I just want to say that it is definitely fated for you both to meet in this lifetime, and it doesn't matter what kind of connection dynamics you have with your current twin flame, you were meant to meet in this lifetime the way that you did. And twin flame connection is always geared around romance, so it's nothing platonic. It never will be. So if it is and there's a reason for it to catapult into the ascension process that it has to be on a romantic nature for both of the twin flames to find each other that irresistible and want to work on themselves and face their wounding, that sort of thing. There's no point, there's no challenge if it was meant to be on a platonic level, because you know, it's supposed your twin flame will be your biggest you know, your biggest desire, sort of thing, right? It's sort of that you know, the juicy carrot that you which will be, you know, which will always be dangled in front of you for you to want to you know, dive into your soul alchemy as well as the ascension process. So this is why platonic relationships do not apply in twin flame connection. And the connection will feel very, very intense, and obsession will be there. And you know, I mentioned that, and also intense telepathy will be there. So if you are, and I have so many videos and articles on telepathy, so do check them out. In my website I have the articles, and of course in the YouTube I have them too. So if you are constantly thinking about your twin flame, I just want to say that that is the case with them as well. They are constantly thinking about you, and you can connect with each other on a mind level just because of the same vibrational blueprint that you have of each other's soul print, right? Like, so, you know, you have the same soul, so it's so easy to just connect on, you know, with them on that level. Other people not so much, but this connection definitely. What else is here? I'm just kind of skimming through it. So basically what you're doing here, I want to add, is you know, when you are going through your ascension process, you're actually jumping you know, dimensions as well. The third dimension is the you know, the reality where, you know, there's a lot of ego-based you know, stuff, trauma, this and that. So you're trying to kind of jump out of that dimension into the 5D, which is the higher dimension, right? So you a lot of people assume that the energetic cord that is between your twin flames, you can actually cut them, or you can you know, get rid of it. there's no such thing, because you can never cut energetic cords with your twin flame. Once you have the awakening, it's there with you for the rest of your life. I'm sorry to say, some of you probably don't like to hear that, especially if you have gotten into some sort of issues with your twin flame. But and it goes both ways, because they will never be able to forget you either. So what else is here that's part of their twin flame experience? One of the things that I do want to say is that your twin flame is going to be just that one person in this entire world. There's about almost 8 billion people now on planet Earth, and you only have that one twin flame. That's it. You do not have anybody else. So if you've encountered your twin flame, I want to say that is it. You will not find another twin flame. That you only have that one, and it's the same thing for them as well. And this is why a lot of things that you feel with your twin flame, you will not feel with anybody else. So let me know if this kind of resonates as well for some of you. So we are going into soulmates. What's the difference? That was twin flames, and now we are kind of diving into the soulmate connection, what that is. They belong from the same soul group or monad, as known as soul family. So of course, like I said, in the beginning of your soul incarnation, you wanted to gain certain experiences, and for twin flames, of course, you wanted to gain ascension. So, and this is why you encountered in this planet with them. But for people that are your soulmate, that are from your soul group or monad, they also incarnated to help you ascend into a higher level. Not as high as probably the twin flames, because of the electrifying, it's not as electrifying as the twin flame connection, but having said that, it's still very intense. So, and of course, it's a little bit more safer, I would say. If you're dealing with a soulmate, you will feel a little bit more safer, as opposed to the twin flame, who's gonna really catapult you into some of the darkest and deepest aspects of yourself that you do not want to face because of the mirroring aspect. They, of course, you bring that out with them as well, and this is the mirror effect that a lot of teachers, and in fact me, I have taught about. So yeah, soulmates, you belong to the same soul group, and they are also here to teach you lessons and to help you grow on a soul level. An individual can come across multiple soulmates in their lifetime. I've already encountered a few, so I'm just saying that that is the case with soulmate. It's very different from twin flames, because twin flame, you only have that one. So soulmates, you can have people that are your family members, your pets, your friends, or it could be a love interest. So and they also help in having you learn some lessons and grow on a soul level. You will also feel, just like your twin flame, that you have known them from previous lifetime. Sometimes it doesn't happen when they are alive, but it will come up later on when they pass away sometimes, especially if they have become your guides and stuff like that. Because as a soulmate, you will, like people that have passed away, for example, your dad, your mom, or your grandparents, right? If they belonged from the same soul group, they would become your guides. So it's kind of you can take it as that as well, especially if it's come up in medium readings, or if you know already that they are in your energetic field as your guides. It can be a romantic connection, and it will be very intense and rewarding as well. And you will have the out of this world romance, just like your twin flame. Not all soulmate connections will give you the spiritual ascension process. It depends on the level of it. So you could have come across some soulmates that you felt you had previous connections with, but of course they didn't give you the kind of ascension process. So of course it all differentiates per connection. So you know, this is just a guideline that I'm giving here. And once the lesson is learned, connection is done and it can resurface again. So with twin flames, you can like I said, that energetic bond is there for lifetime. So once you start going through the ascension process with your twin flame, it will never stop. So it's ongoing. So there is no certain time at any point of your life where the connection is kind of done, right? You know, you'll always feel it, you'll always feel them, they will always feel you. But in case of a soulmate, what this does is that once a connection is done, after a certain period of time, it can resurface again. Once people are a little bit more advanced in their soul journey, so it can resurface in that sense. So now we're going into the karmic. What does karmic mean? Karmic, actually, I now know that I have written an article on karmics as well, twin flame karmic. Some of the people are dealing with their karmic, whether you are dealing with it or your twin flame is dealing with a karmic. You may want to check that article and just revisit it if you have read it. Karmics are all about balancing karma. That's where the term karmic comes. So a lot of you, I know that you don't care for your twin flames karmic or, you know, your karmic, but it's at the end of the day, on a spiritual level, it's actually coming from karma. So and of course we do come here on this earth to balance karma. It is based on romantic connection, and sometimes it doesn't have to be. It could be just relationships with your colleagues, your friends, your family, that sort of thing, right? But this also can lead into a connection that's romantic, where you've actually married them, or a serious long-term relationship. So that's what karmics are. And initially, during the bubble up phase, you will feel this intense romance with them, and you know, enough for you to get into, if it is a romantic relationship, enough for you to just get into a relationship with them, whether it's long-term or short-term, right? There's intense attraction and chemistry between the two. Okay, I kind of lost my thing here. Here we go. I looked at the article. There were too many to write, so I'm just scrolling through my blog here instead of me writing it. I was lazy today. So both souls signed up for soul lessons, and they learn those as per their soul contract. So for those that do not understand soul contract, I do have a video on soul contract that you may want to check out, and I believe I even have, yeah, actually I do. I have an article as well, so you may want to check that out as well. That's a separate topic that I have already filmed on. So in this connection, there is no spiritual ascension process. A lot of people think that karmics give you spiritual ascension process or spiritual awakening. No, that's not the case. So it's all, and that's there's a reason for that. It's only meant for you to balance karma, and there were certain soul lessons that you both wanted to learn and gain experience with. So once you do that, you know, you've done your soul fulfillment, you're off you go, kind of thing, right? Because the soul lessons are fated, you will not be able to deny the connection or leave the connection until the soul lessons are learned and integrated. This is why a lot of times your twin flame or you are stuck in a karmic contract because you have no way of escaping it, because you guys are still learning soul lessons and you're still integrating the experience that your soul is requiring. So and of course these all scenarios are there for a reason. So that's you know, of course everybody has different situations in their in their connection. So you know what I'm talking about. Lessons keep getting repeated for soul growth, and once you heal that aspect, then you both split off. And once you terminate this karmic contract, you are actually done. You don't quite go back. Some people do, but that's very, you know, odd, because usually once the tie is done, you know, the tie is done. But it takes forever in some connections to actually cut off that that karmic tie, because there's so many soul lessons that come with it. And they need, and this is why I was saying that for those that are in karmic contracts, or if your twin flame is, it takes forever because of the lessons that need to be learned. Once the lessons are learned, then the connection is done, and then the two individuals decide to go and venture into another connection. So this is my take on the differences between twin flames, karmics, and soulmates. So hope that you guys liked the video, and comment in the section, in the description box, to just let me know what you thought of it, if it made sense, if this video resonated with what you needed to learn.